When planning a hiking trip, most people think about what gear they are going to bring to ensure their comfort and safety. A tent, sleeping bag, maybe even an air mattress for good sleep. Food, water, lighter, and a good night for usual essentials. How about some electronics to entertain us during the long nights in the tent? When everything is considered, it can add up to a lot of gear.
And how will the gear hold up in a fierce windstorm?
But how did people travel thousands of years ago before modern technology? What would a primitive man choose to take with him on a journey? I decided to explore these two styles and compare the advantages and disadvantages between high-tech and no-tech. The adventure begins in an ancient time when things were made by hand from natural materials. These buckskin pants were sewn together with yucca cordage. The burden basket is made of willow branches and yucca cordage. It holds a large cowhide blanket, a medium buckskin blanket, and a natural fiber sweater vest I made earlier this year. The calabash bottle gourd holds a little more than 1 gallon of water. The buckskin bag holds some food rations I prepared from raw ingredients. The walking stick is simply a pine branch. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to make some shoes, so I'm using a very old pair of rubber-soled sandals with paracord lacing. They certainly aren't primitive, but they aren't good either because they have almost no tread remaining. In fact, I'd probably be better off with some agave fiber sandals. I'm carrying a total of 22 pounds of gear. I chose this rugged barren desert because of its lack of resources. It is in places like this that we rely more on what we bring. It may appear to be extremely uncomfortable to carry the burden basket like this, but it's really not bad at all. I see 2 small caves on the adjacent ridge. I have to check those out. It could be a good place to spend the night. Due to the nature of the terrain, I have to be very careful to avoid slipping on loose rock. A fall could wreck my gear, or it could wreck me. The walking stick is a very helpful tool for keeping me balanced on steep grades covered with loose gravel. Wind is common in the desert, especially on mountains. The higher I go, the more windy it gets.
It's so windy! When I got up to this ridge, the wind almost knocked me over. Especially with this big burden basket. A lot of resistance. I'm almost to where, I believe there's a cave. I saw it from a distance. I couldn't tell if it's deep enough to crawl into and curl up to sleep. I'm not sure. I'm gonna check it out though.
In the second part of this video, I'm going to do the same adventure with some high-tech modern gear.
This little rock hill, this peak right here, it blocks the wind. I'm gonna rest here. Now I'm gonna look for that cave I saw. Check it out. Need to find a place to sleep tonight. Whoa. Really steep, rocky terrain. There is no cave. What the heck? This is really weird. I swear there was a cave around here. God, this is... Oh! This is not a very safe place to be standing. Whoa! There's all this loose rock. Alright. Trying to film while I walk on this terrain is extremely dangerous. the sun is setting, and I swear I saw a cave over here, but now there's absolutely no evidence of it. This is so weird. I don't know. Anyway, I gotta make a place for me to spend the night. Day's over. Okay, this is gonna be my plan. I need to set up a place to sleep. There's pretty good wind protection here, so I'm gonna use this rock as a windbreak, and I'm gonna just do my best to make the most comfort with what I have with me. It's gonna be a long night. Fortunately, the moon is up. It's almost a full moon, so I'm going to have moonlight for a few hours, and then it's going to be totally dark. As you can see, there's not much wood around, so I'm not going to bother even trying to do a fire because it would take a lot of time to collect enough material. All the material that I've seen around here would burn very, very fast. All I could use is some dead ocotillo branches, some grass, some small dry bushes. That's it, and all that will just burn up so quick it's not even worth the effort. It's only gonna, the temperature is supposed to drop to probably 50 degrees, maybe a little bit less than that tonight, so I shouldn't be too cold. I should be fine with what I brought. Might get a little chilly, but I will survive. Got my sweater. Help keep me warm, buckskin, some fire sticks, which we will not be using, and a cowhide. Oh boy, this is gonna be rough. We'll see how it goes. Up a little bit. It's gonna be a hard surface. I wish there was some soft sand around here. You know, I could bring some dirt from over there. All right, there's softer dirt here. Help, it'll be a little bit better. I can pick out the larger pebbles, discard those. I mostly just need the cushion for my torso. My legs will be fine without it. So, oh, this is gonna be so much better because this ground is rock hard. So now it's gonna be dirt soft. Does that sound good? Memory foam mattress right here. It's gonna be a good night. Not bad. It's not bad. Better
much better than it was. This will help somewhat. Made this sweater about 6 months ago. It's made out of dog hair yarn, some other kind of natural fiber, jute, that's what it's called, and my hair as well, with yucca. And so this will help a little bit. This bottle gourd holds a little more than a gallon of water, close to 5 liters. Plenty for an all-day excursion. Brought some good foodstuffs in here. This right here is prickly pear skins. So after I juice the prickly pear, I save the skins of certain species and I just dry them in the sun, and then they're delicious, tasty snacks. I recently harvested mesquite pods. These are also a very good snack. Only problem is there's only a small amount of flour in each one. The rest is seed and skin, and that gets spit out after I chew on it. I also have 2 prickly pears. Here's one of them I'm going to have right now. This is not the desert prickly pear. This grows on the coast. As you can see, it's a larger fruit. And this is actually a small one because they do get much larger. And it's a very tasty fruit. I also brought pemmican. I have 2 bars of pemmican that I made. Pemmican is the #1 survival and travel food, in my opinion, and many others share the same opinion as I do. It is so good. High calories, high protein, high fat. I also add manzanita flour to it, which gives it a nice tangy flavor that's just wonderful. In the morning, I want to hike up to the top of that mountain there, just so I can see the other side. That's what I'm going to do in the morning. Pretty cold, but this cowhide keeps me warm enough that I can avoid shivering, and I sleep a little bit. I doze off for short moments. I'm actually surprised that the moon has moved almost all the way across the sky already. I think about 6 hours have passed and it hasn't felt like it, so that's how I know I've slept a little bit. Fortunately, the wind has subsided a lot. It was actually howling. The wind was howling for most of the night so far. The sky's perfectly clear. The stars are brilliant. There's Orion. You see Orion's belt clearly. One thing is certain. The sun will rise. This temporary discomfort will pass. The sun's going to rise over there in the east, and when it comes up above that mountain, its warm rays are just going to be so relieving. It's going to feel so good. That's my hope. That's my hope tonight. That's what I'm looking forward to, is to feel those warm rays of the sun on my skin tomorrow morning. morning. It got quite chilly, but I did manage to sleep a little bit. And now the morning is here. The sun is coming to warm the land. Well, I waited 13 hours for this moment. 13 long, cold hours all night for the sun to come up and warm my face, warm my skin. Feels wonderful. Well, now I'm gonna get ready to go. Hike up to the top of that mountain peak. First, I'm gonna have breakfast. Okay. I've got some foodstuffs in here. There's a prickly pear. I'll save this for later when it warms up. When it's nice and hot because it's juicy and very delicious. And these here are desert prickly pear skins. I just dry them. I dry them in the sun. And they are a really tasty snack. Oh, mesquite season. Yeah, we have a good mesquite harvest this year. A lot of mesquite. This is honey mesquite. I just chew on it, extract all the flavor, and spit out the seeds and the skins. And then last, and most importantly, is my favorite survival travel food, pemmican. This stuff is packed with nutrition. This particular bar right here is probably about 500 calories. It's made out of dried beef, tallow, and manzanita flour. It tastes great and is just packed with energy. It's 2 of these a day will sustain me. It's amazing. It really tastes good. Mm-hmm. Almost there. Just have to cross this ridge, go up a short incline, and I'll be at the top. An interesting observation is the large quantity of shell and coral fossils that can be found all over this mountain, indicating that this place was once covered by the sea.
doing all this in a totally primitive way, it has its benefits, also has its downsides. It's physically more demanding, I think. There's more opportunity for injury, more risk, but then having this really true connection to the land is something really beautiful. Some areas on the descent are pretty difficult. A lot of loose ground, loose rock, gravel. Have to be very careful, especially with all that I'm carrying. Also for the fact I have to be careful with this type of a gourd, my water bottle, Calabash water gourd. The problem with them is that if I were to fall and if the bottle hit a rock, it would just break. It would be over. So it's extremely important that I be very careful. Can you imagine if you're out on a multi-day hike and you had one bottle full of water and you get halfway in and you fall and break that and lose all the water and you don't have any access to water and you have to get back a day and a half journey with no water? That would be dangerous. That would be bad. So guard your water bottle. It's like gold. It's life. Without it, you might die. The highest peak up there that you see, that's where I just came from. Back to the present. This is where I started filming the primitive version of this. Today I have a few extra items, including this that I'm carrying. Solar panels. My first impression of this backpack is that it's very comfortable. It's extremely comfortable. I'm carrying a lot of weight. I have about 60 pounds on my back, plus this weighs a little over 10. So I'm carrying a total of 70 pounds. This is not uncommon for a lot of hikers that go camping in the backcountry. They'll bring a lot of stuff. And I'll show you all that I'm bringing when I get to the top. One step at a time, and I'll get there.
The backpack allows me to carry much more weight than I could carry with my burden basket, and the running shoes give my feet better protection and traction than the sandals.
Still haven't stopped to take a break. I'm surprised that I'm doing as well as I'm doing, because I've never carried 70 pounds hiking before. This is a lot of weight, but I'm handling it way better than I expected. That's a good thing. There's a lot of loose rock. I have to be super careful. If I were to lose my footing and fall down this hill, it would be a bad situation. I'd get cut up, bruised, my gear would get damaged. So I'm just going at a nice slow pace, testing every step. It's so important just to be careful, to be cautious. As they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Those are the two caves that I saw the other time. I was looking at the wrong place though. See, when I was looking for them after I crossed the ridge, I was looking way over there. And they're not, they're much sooner. So it looks like I'm gonna go right above them. And so I'm gonna stop this time and take a look and see if they are caves. It might just be a shadow from the rock. That's what I'm thinking it probably is, not really a cave. That's the craziest thing. I feel kind of stupid. They are indeed caves. However, all they are is little holes in the rock. For some reason, the distance here appeared so much more than what it is. I'm kind of embarrassed. It's like it was an illusion of some sort. And I thought it was so much further. But look, indeed, it's a nice little cave for a rodent, a small fox, and then there's another one over there. But that's it. It's just this little thing. I thought, when I viewed it from over there, from the ridge, I thought it was something I could probably crawl into and go to sleep. And that just is not the case. That's the ridge where I was viewing it from. It's literally about 300 feet away. Right here is where I collected dirt to use as a mattress. Well, here it is. This is where I spent the night a few nights ago. And then my destination tonight, top of that mountain. I haven't even stopped to take off my backpack and rest, and I'm not going to. I'm going to go the rest of the way. Let's just get this done. I'm shooting this part of the video with my GoPro because it's a lot smaller, a lot easier, more convenient to use than my DSLR, and also for safety reasons because it's bigger and clunkier. I have to be more focused on my steps with all this weight, and so I decided to shoot with the GoPro. This is the top. Wow. It's like another world. It's like going in the past. It truly is like going in the past because of all the fossils that are here. And this rock is very interesting. There seems to be a lot of limestone. I believe that's like an oyster shell, get scallops maybe. Now I'm just going to decide where I want to set up my camp. The moon will be coming up over there in the east, and the sun will be dropping behind me to the west. I think this will be a good spot. I can clear some of this gravel. Perfect. Water. There wasn't really any room to put this on my back, so I carried it on my front. I only brought 3/4 of a gallon this time. What's amazing is I carried all this without a shirt on, and so it was a little uncomfortable where the straps cross over my shoulders, but it wasn't too bad. All right, let's take a look at what's on the outside here. This backpack has 3 external compartments here that are locked by. Well, this one is a zipper, this one's a zipper, and this one's just a Velcro pouch. I brought a flashlight, so it has a space here. These straps to slide in some accessories. It has 2 water bottle pouches, one on either side. And then I'm carrying a very small tent, a tripod. I brought some wood because when I came up here last time there was really no good wood to burn, and so I just brought a small amount so I can cook a little bit with it. And then I have a sleeping mat. Here's my shirt. Underneath I have a wool blanket.
Today's modern tents are so easy to set up. This one is over 10 years old, yet it can be set up in about 10 minutes or less.
Bed is made. All right, now let's take a look at the contents of the backpack. Inside here, this first big pouch, this is actually my computer. Always keep it in a bag in order to help keep it free from dust. This is my computer. Fits nice in here. There's some additional pouches for other things, but this is a really nice pouch dedicated for a good size, a big laptop. I have a very small one, so it fits very well. And then for added security, to keep it safe, keep it from moving around too much, it has a strap. This part is the professional photography pack. Look at this. All these compartments for all kinds of things. I have my lenses, I have my camera, charging devices, microphone, extra batteries, all this stuff. I still have some space. I could put more. I'm able to bring this very large lens. This is a 600 millimeter. And so it'll be interesting to see what I can get, what kind of shots I could get with this tonight when the full moon comes up. There's one more compartment. In this compartment, I've brought lights. I brought a light to put inside so that you can see what's going on at night. These are solar cables for the solar panels to charge the Bluetti power station. And the Bluetti power station is right in here. And it is also secured with additional straps. And here it is. This is a 700 watt power station. Very slim build, so it fits inside the backpack.
On this side is where the solar panel cable can be plugged in for solar charging. The Bluetti hands-free backpack power station has a total of 5 charging ports that allow you to charge up to 5 devices simultaneously. On this side, there are 4 USB ports, 2 of which are USB-C.
So your Apple iPhone can plug into these 2 up here, and these are the regular USBs. And here's where we turn it on.
Up here is the power button, along with the AC and DC output buttons. As you can see, it is currently 87% charged. On the other side, it has one AC output, and it has an AC input for fast charging by plugging the power station into a wall socket. A really cool feature about the hands-free backpack is that the sides can be unzipped to allow access to the components of the Bluetti power station. Then I can plug in all my devices without having to remove the power station from the backpack. The devices can then be conveniently stored in the pouches. The battery charger for my DSLR fits into the AC outlet on the other side. This feature is a huge advantage for me because I'm on the move so much. This way I can charge while on the go. Not only can you charge your devices while on the go, but the power station can even be charged while on the go with the P60 solar panels that can be conveniently attached to the outside of the backpack. This is ideal for people that do long hikes to remote areas. You can get 5% off these Bluetti products by clicking the links in the description below.
Now I'm going to show how this charges with the solar panels.
Charging the hands-free power station is really easy with the solar panels. I just connect the corresponding ends together and make sure that the panels are facing the sun. In optimal conditions, these solar panels can fully charge this power station in about 8 hours. The cord is quite long too, which allows flexibility to move the panels around while leaving the power station in the tent.
The sun is almost down now, so I'm going to hurry up and finish setting up everything for the night.
I put most of the gear in the tent and hung the light inside. Then I searched the area for small dry branches to use as kindling, while also enjoying the views from the different vantage points on top of this mountain. The peaceful solitude that I'm enjoying reminds me of a quote by Francis Bacon. "For nature to be commanded, it must be obeyed." The sun has set, so I'm getting ready for the night. I'm also using my 600mm lens to get some long-distance photos of the features of the terrain, and also of the nearly full moon that has risen.
I plugged the light into the Bluetti, and now I'm going to turn it on. All right. So a lot of the weight that I'm carrying is actually this lens. This lens weighs a few pounds. So when you add all that equipment up, it becomes quite heavy. Now in these pouches up here, in this top pouch, I've got a few things that I'm going to use right now. I'm going to start a fire. What I brought to start a fire is a fast fire stick by Pro Camp Tech. I've never used this before, so it's going to be an experience. Let's try it out. All right, so what I have to do here is first make sure I have my wood ready. I have my kindling and I have some small logs to burn. And then what I understand is I just cut pieces of this off. It's kind of like cutting through a roll of toilet paper that has some kind of like glue in it or something. It's like these very loose fibers that are just compacted really, really tight. And so supposedly you're supposed to pull it apart a little bit, open up some of those fibers. This is supposed to ignite very, very easy with just a spark. And then I just have to strike it with a ferro rod. And there it goes. Well, that certainly did start very easy. This wood here is agave stock. Agave stock is very light wood and it burns very easy. So I'm going to use that as part of my kindling to get this fire going. The other wood, I don't know what kind it is, but it's a lot harder. That's a really cool little product there. Fast fire stick. Pro Camp Tech. Now I'm going to get out some cookware. And what I brought is this mess kit. The food is right in here. Tortillas. To accompany the tortillas, I have some butter. This is Kerrygold butter, my favorite butter. And here I have some meat. This is dehydrated, freeze-dried steak. It's from 100% grass-fed and grain-finished beef. And this is provided by a company called Prepper Beef. But this is freeze-dried, and it's actually kind of good just to eat like this. Just let that cook for probably about half an hour. Yeah, nice and hot. These things swelled up to nice little pieces of steak. Let's go eat. Unfortunately, the wind is started, and that makes it a little annoying to sleep out here, especially with a tent. The problem with the tent and the wind is that it makes all this noise, and it can be actually impossible to sleep. But the good thing about the tent is that I will have a windbreak. I won't be feeling the wind hitting me, and so that'll be good. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking some butter and I'm going to put that into this bowl. Let that melt. And ow, this is hot. Of course, it's sitting on hot coals. Wouldn't expect anything else. So the way this freeze-dried beef works is that you just, all I have to do is soak it in water. You put it in hot water, and in about half an hour it swells up and it turns into these nice bite-sized pieces of steak. Good. Very good. And I'm adding tortilla. Very good tortilla. This will be very satisfying. This will make this into a very nice little meal. It'll be nourishing, satisfying to my belly, give me some nutrients, protein, some carbs, some fat. I want to contrast the difference between a few nights ago when I was trying to sleep on the ground. As soon as the sun went down and it got dark, there was nothing to do. I couldn't make a fire. There wasn't big enough wood, so I didn't even try. Plus, it was super windy. And so there was nothing to do. And so all I did for 13 hours was curl up and I just waited. I just waited for the sun to come up and to feel the warmth of the sun. Now, having electricity with the Bluetti power station provides me this light. And so there's a lot that I can do during the night. There's stuff I can do in here. I brought my computer. I'm going to start editing. When I came here, the Bluetti had 87% of a battery charge. Now it's at 83%. Wind is kind of unbearable, although it is better than being outside in the wind. That would be really cold, but with all the noise from the wind, it's gonna be very difficult to sleep. That's unfortunate. At least I'm getting some editing done. The battery on this laptop holds a charge for like 15 minutes. That's about all, and then it dies, and so I have to have it plugged in all the time or else the computer will turn off. So I'm using the Bluetti This wind is making it impossible for me to do anything in here. I put some rocks in the corner here because this side was lifting up. So that's what I have to do tonight. I'm going to put heavy items in the corners to keep the tent on the ground. So I'm going to be turning this light off, and I'm just going to plug in my camera battery for my DSLR, and I'll charge that overnight. The power station is now at 72%. It's only dropped about, I think, 17% since I started using it today. That's very good. This light's been on for a few hours, and I was on my computer for about 2 hours. Well, I'm going to try to ride out this hurricane. This wind is really whipping. It's not as windy as it seems. It's just that I'm in this tent that's not very strong, and I think that's kind of a common condition with tents. They don't hold up to wind well. Good night. us rolling. No sleep tonight. 7 more hours till morning. This is crazy. I'm stuck in here. If I get out, the whole tent's gonna roll off the mountain. I think it just broke. Oh my God. The tent broke. The tent broke. And I'm holding the top of it down. So keeping it a low profile, which creates less wind resistance. This is what I'm gonna have to do the rest of the night. I looked outside, my camera got knocked over. He was doing a time lapse and it fell over on the ground. The wind just keeps getting stronger and stronger. The tent is completely collapsed at this point. I'm holding the rods down. My camera got knocked over in the wind. I can't leave. If I leave the tent, it's probably gonna blow away. God, I had this flashlight here. So the wind's getting stronger and stronger. This tent is falling apart. Just got to get through the night. It's starting to get light. The sun's coming up. The wind has not ceased. It has continued to be strong all night. It has not let up at all. I'm just gonna wait for the sun to come up. It's too cold to go outside right now. And I gotta go pee too. Everything's put away. Just gotta put on my shoes. This is a piss bottle. And then I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna slip out of here. I'm gonna try to stay on top of the tent so it doesn't blow away. I'm gonna see if I can try to disassemble it. I don't know if that's gonna work. I gotta go pee. Oh God. All right, this didn't move. My poor camera's covered in dust. This looks terrible. Look at that. Gotta get in here again. Oh man. The tent's bent in half. All right, I gotta clean up my camera. I gotta pack it away. Roll up my blanket and mat. Try to put everything back on the backpack, and I gotta crawl out of here. All right, I think I'm about ready to get out of here. There's a lot more I wanted to do up here this morning. That's not happening this time. All right, backpack is all packed. Wow. Yeah, this tent is shot. So I'm gonna try trying to drag it down the mountain a little ways. Hopefully I can get to an area that's blocked by the wind, and then I'll be able to disassemble it. Oh, it's cold. Okay. That wind will be very dangerous on the steep ridges. I have to be very careful I don't get blown over. The wind is so strong right here! I can barely stand up! Down here than it was at the top of the ridge. The top of the mountain was steadily blowing. Once I get down low enough to get out of the wind, I'm going to try to put away this tent. Find the foot out of the wind. Oh man, backpack threw me backwards. Okay. All right, well, I safely made it down, obviously. There were a few sketchy areas that were really steep. There was a very narrow ridge and the wind was blowing, and so I just had to be careful I didn't lose balance. I brought 70 pounds total, including my water, and that makes the trek more difficult, physically demanding. And yes, once you get to your destination, you do have more comforts, that's true. And so I would have been able to sleep just fine. I would have been plenty warm enough with just the wool blanket. However, the wind was blowing so hard I couldn't sleep at all. I did not sleep, not a bit. It was a very long night. It felt longer than the previous night that I was awake almost all night too. The difference was the other night the wind wasn't as strong because I was in a location that had a wind break, and so that was helpful. But I was colder the other night than I was last night. All right, so I'm gonna take this apart now. See you on the next adventure.